What's going on, everybody? It's Brian, and in this video I'll be giving you an overview of the design and some of the features of the MSI GT780R gaming laptop. Now first I'll tell you some of the specs. It has a 17.3 inch 1920 by 1080 anti-glare display. It has Intel's Core i7-2630QM processor. It's clocked at 2 GHz, and it has a turbo boost speed of up to 2.9. So if you're using a single-threaded app, it'll go to 2.9 GHz. If you're using multi-threaded apps, it'll go to 2.6 in most cases. It has a GeForce GTX 560M GPU with 1.5 gigs of video memory. So for those who are wondering, it's actually about a 10 to 20% increase over the GTX 460M in some cases, at least in my gaming tests. It has 16 gigs of RAM, which is a lot. That's overkill in my opinion. That's actually maxed out on this computer. It has 4 RAM slots for a total capacity of 16 gigs, so it is maxed out. And it also has two 7200 RPM 500 gigabyte hard drives joined together in RAID 0, so it gives you a lot of performance. Not close to an SSD, of course, so it is going to give you a pretty good amount of performance. It's going to decrease your battery life a bit, and also if one of the drives happen to fail for whatever reason, then all of your data is gone. So RAID 0, it has its positives and negatives. It also has 802.11bg and Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, all that good stuff. So I'm going to move the camera closer to the laptop and give you a closer look at the your keyboard portion first. So first I'm going to go ahead and show you the palm rest area. It has sort of a black brushed aluminum finish to it. It does attract fingerprints, oil, and dust, so you're going to want to clean it every so often. Now the trackpad, it's a fairly well-sized trackpad. I wish it was sort of more taller than it was wide, but for the most part it's okay. The trackpad is made by Syntelic, not Synaptic, so that's sort of disappointing that they didn't go with more of a name brand trackpad manufacturer. So you're not going to have an actual vertical scrolling or horizontal scrolling region. There's actually little touch points for vertical scrolling and horizontal scrolling, so you can't just slide up and down. You have to actually touch in certain areas to go up and down and left and right. Now compared to the GT680, it has individual right click and left click buttons. These are very clicky and easy to press, which is good. On the GT680, it's sort of one large plastic bar. Then you have your left and right clicking regions. Over here we do have some stickers about the computer itself. So this is a review unit, so I'm not going to take those off, but if I were to purchase this computer myself, I would definitely take these off immediately, because they do, while they look okay, they're just sort of, I don't know, annoying, I guess. So here we have a little trackpad disabler button, so pushing this will actually disable your trackpad, including the buttons. And then here we have a little sticker that says the keyboard is by SteelSeries. So moving on to the keyboard, and to be honest, it's very disappointing. This is probably my only real issue with this computer is, you know, the keyboard. It feels okay. The keys just feel sort of plasticky when you're typing on it. They just sound very cheap. But I mean, it's sort of hard to explain. Like, it feels good and it doesn't feel good. I just don't know how to I just don't really know how to explain it very well. But my real complaint about the keyboard comes when I'm actually typing on it. So I type very fast, over 150 words per minute, and I want my keyboards to be able to input, or I want it to be able to register my input accurately and immediately. So for the most part, this keyboard misses a lot of my keys when I'm typing fast, especially with the space bar and with the W key, especially the W key. That one's very, very annoying. Very rarely, I mean, to type accurately on this keyboard will require you to learn to push harder down on the keys, which to me is really hard to actually do, because most of the other keyboards I've ever used in my life, being able to push down on the keys was very easy to do. You didn't have to push down very hard. It would just work, and most keyboards are fine. The keyboard on the GT680 is fine. My primary keyboard that I use, which is my Microsoft wireless keyboard, I think it's the 5000 series. It's very nice to type on, and it feels very nice as well. But on this keyboard, it just misses a lot of my inputs. It's just very frustrating to type with. So overall, the keyboard for typing is just not very good. And I think if people are going to use this keyboard for gaming, you know, using the WASD keys for first-person shooters or whatever, I think they'll get frustrated with it as well, because you just have to learn to push harder on the keys, which is, it may be easy for some people, but it may be hard for most. So in my case, I'm not really able to do that. But a good feature of this keyboard is that it is backlit, so you are able to customize the colors of the keyboard. Let me turn off some of my lights so you can see the keyboard a little bit better. And I'll also go ahead and show you the software for changing the colors on the keyboard. So you can see that right now there are 3 little regions for the keyboard, and for whatever reason this area here just doesn't work. I don't know why. I haven't really asked MSI about that, but oh well, it just doesn't work for whatever reason. But for the most part, the backlit keyboard is sort of nice. You have 3 different colored regions that you could customize to pretty much whatever color you'd like. Right now I have a red, white, and blue color scheme going on. And on the computer itself, I'm actually going to go ahead and open up the, what do they call this? This is called the MSI Keyboard LED Manager. So this is actually going to let you customize the colors that you see on the keyboard. So to change one of them, all you have to do is click on the region you want to change the color of and click on a new color on the wheel, and then it will immediately change. So if I want to make the left side green, I can just click on the green color. If I want to make the middle red, and if I want to make the right side purple, I can just, click on a color and it will immediately change. And as you can see, this section here just doesn't really work. The LED Manager also has other options, so you could go to dual color mode, which will alternate between various colors that you've chosen, as you can see now. The wave mode will sort of move the color of the keys from left to right. Breathing mode will sort of breathe in and out of your colors. And gaming mode will only light up the left side, because for most video games, or for most PC games I should say, the left side of the keyboard is the one that you'll be focusing on the most. And normal mode goes to our 3-regioned backlit keyboard section. And yeah, it's a pretty nice keyboard. Alienware has had this sort of thing for quite a long time, but it's nice to see MSI pick this up, and for the most part it works very well, except for the middle region that just doesn't work at all. Not sure why. Sort of disappointing to see that not work, but oh well. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the lights back on in the room. And I'm going to go ahead and talk to you about the display. So here we have a 1920 by 1080 anti-glare display, so it's 16 by 9, so it's great for watching TV shows and playing games on. It is anti-glare, so there's some quality loss in the overall clarity and color accuracy of the display. It's sort of hard to explain, but when you're looking at a white sort of box or image or whatever, it doesn't really look as white as it could get. It's sort of like a creamy white, just a little bit. It's sort of hard to explain. On the camera, it looks like it's picking it up like I wish the screen was, pure white. But, I mean, it's just sort of hard to explain. It just sort of seems like a darker or a more yellowish shade of white. But for the most part, the display is nice. Watching movies, TV shows, and playing games on the display is it's a nice experience. But when it comes to reading large amount of text, I just sort of get, I don't know, just reading large amount of text on this type of screen, it just doesn't feel very right for me. I would much rather just switch to a smaller display or maybe a glossy display for reading. I don't know why, but that's just me. Camera seems out of focus, but oh well. I'm actually going to move the camera back a little bit so I could go ahead and show you some of the ports and other things on this computer. So right under the trackpad you can see some LED indicators. This one indicates that Bluetooth is enabled. This one is for Wi-Fi. This one means that your battery is being charged. This one means that you are in sleep mode. And this is the LED for your hard drive indicator. So moving to the left side of the laptop, here we have some air vents for the heatsink. Here we have 2 USB 3.0 super speed ports, so this will give you bandwidth of up to 5 gigabits per second. Here we have a multi-card reader. Here we have a USB 2.0 port, and here we have various audio inputs and outputs. And on the back, since I'm here, I'm actually going to show you the lid of the computer. Now it has the same sort of black brushed aluminum material on the lid, so that's pretty cool, and the MSI logo does light up. So going back to the ports, we have another vent over here. There's nothing opened over here. Like all of your processor and your GPU and stuff is on this side, not that side. So here we have this is an HDMI port. Here we have a eSATA port. It's not combo, so it's not eSATA and USB. Here we have a VGA output, Ethernet jack. This is where your power cord goes, and we have a Kensington lock. Finally, over to the right side, let me just go ahead and close this. We have our DVD drive. There is a little hole so you could put a paper clip in here and eject the drive manually if you need to. And we also have 2 more USB 2.0 ports. So that was just a quick look at the design and some of the features on the MSI GT780R gaming laptop. If you have any comments, questions, suggestions, you can leave them down below in the comments area. But that's about it with this video. I will be starting my gaming videos about this computer soon. But I mean, if you've seen my gaming videos about the GT680, you pretty much just need to add 10 to 20% more frames per second to those games, and you'll pretty much match the performance of this. So once again, that's it with the video. Thanks a lot for watching, and I will see you all soon.